How's it going, everybody? Good Monday, good week. Welcome back to another episode. I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I had a rough weekend, as you can probably guess from my face and my voice. Let's go into Tech Life 101 again. I just did 30-something hour. Sorry, keep the phone handy, just in case some people need to be kicked out of the chat. Got that right there. There we go. This weekend, I did work a bar mitzvah for a private client, and then I went out to do a show. Woke up Saturday morning at 7:30. 8:30 was on the gig for the bar mitzvah. Did the load-in, did the event, did the takedown. Because I'm technical director there at the venue, I have to just wait for everybody to be done. Left the building around 4 in the morning. 4:30, I'm in my bed on Sunday morning at that point. So I did a 20-hour shift. Woke up, got into the lovely Escal truck that you guys seen before. Did an hour of road to go do a show on the north side of the island of Montreal. Had a good time. 4. A self-contained kid entertainer that was there to promote books and stuff like that. Really fun stuff. And then after that, did 3 trio artist acoustic stuff. You know, the classic stompbox, 2 acoustic guitar and vocals. Did that the whole day. Came back home and went to bed for 12 hours. 30 hours in less than 48. 30 hours of work in less than 48 hours is rough. I'm 35 and I start to feel it a lot. So please, guys, please apologize for my face. Please apologize for my voice. Just want to make sure that everything is working. Don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. Are we there? Are we public? That's the other question. Do we have a mistake? Because usually one person at this time is unusual. So are we public or not? Am I the only one here or not? Let me know in the chat, guys. Otherwise, we will start as usual with your question on the wing. And I had a funny email this week. I guess I can read that on the chat. I had an email from Rolf DC that you guys probably seen a lot around here. He's been a long time viewer of the channel. And he talked about the delay measurement that we had. A couple weeks ago, I don't know if you guys remember, we had an EQ, a 31-band EQ inserted on the main, and realized that it was creating some kind of a latency. So we did some A/B testing. You know, when we took one channel, actually I think I have still that thing set up. We took my talkback, which is the mic that I'm using right now, and we A/B it against another channel. I think it's channel 38. Anyhow, we basically sent both channel phase reverse one of them to cancel it and figure out how many samples of delay that we had going on with a single channel. And we figure out that every unit of delay, add delay. Every insert plugin add delay to the overall processing of 32 samples. It's not even millisecond, we're talking about 32 sample. Not enough that you will notice if you insert something on the main out, delay wise I'm talking about, but enough that if you running stuff in parallel, that can create some problem. So Ralph was on the idea of figuring out every single unit. I'm not going to go through this whole email, but he did a research, and I will get you guys updated on that, because this is a really interesting thing to know, to figure out how much latency you are introducing on every single channel when you apply, gate, EQ, compression, insert effect, because you have to insert point on every channel. If you're running stuff in parallel, or if you're running stuff that you split, you want to create, sometimes I do this when I'm doing floor monitor in-ear from front of house. I split the lead vocal. I create 2 line. I patch the same input on 2 channel. That way I can EQ 1 for the room, send that into a vocal group, or just compress the living crap out of it. And after that, I can send an uncompressed or un-EQ'd version of that signal to in-ear or monitor. Sometimes it's help. Sometimes you cannot, live with the same channel, with all the processing of a channel like this one, on a monitoring device. So for that, sometimes you split, and knowing that you can create phasing issue or latency issue depending on what you put on the plugin is something that you need to be aware of. You don't have to worry about it, but if you know that, sometimes you can understand why you have some weird stuff going on. So depend on the situation. But thank you, Rolf. I will read in deep into your email soon. But before that, everybody who is in the chat right now, please say hi. Please say where you're from. I like to know where you guys are from. And if you are with us right now, I would ask you to please give this video a like. Always good to have the algorithm know that we are here every Monday. Actually, the algorithm know that we're here. But if we interact, the more you guys interact with the video, the more you guys like, comment, link the video, you share it, the more it tells the algorithm that we are here, that it could manifest some interest into people. So please interact as much as possible with the video. You know the drill if you're on YouTube. Like, ring the bell, subscribe. And for those of you who want to support what I do a little bit, you can become a channel member. That will give you access to a beautiful green name in the chat. And for those of you who really want to get a little more, because basically the channel member is just for you guys to support me, give me like some bucks a month or something like that. So it's just a little thank you. But if you want to get a little more and you guys are ready to pay out a little more, if you can become a super member of the channel, you can have access to this setup right here. So camera, I'm watching you on my screen right there that I have there, and we do video conference together, and I can help you guys out with your show file if you need to figure out routing. I've done that a number of times. Actually, I need to get back to some people in West Virginia really soon. There's a church right there that needs some help to build their own setup. I'm gonna do a video call. I'm gonna train the local guys there and help them figure out what they need to do to achieve the result that they want to have in their room. I will be doing this remotely. They asked me if I could go there physically, but it's such a pain for me to travel to the state. Not traveling to the state by itself, but go there, not really working, but asking for like accommodation and stuff like that, just so I can have a place to live in the state. I would do it, but the cost is just too expensive for most church. Or if your church can afford it, they can probably afford to hire somebody local, which also would be another option. But anyhow, if you guys really want to have me somewhere explaining wing to you, and you want to pay the plane ticket for me to get there and hotel, okay, sure, I'll make a video out of it. It will be a fun experience for me. I have a couple weeks of vacation coming up, so if you guys in November, early November, want to fly me somewhere, I'm just throwing that into the universe. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, let me check what's going on here. Usually we have some stuff going in the chat at this point in the video, and right now none of you even said hi, so I believe my chat could be broken or not, and I just look like a fool. But let's take a look at what's going on here. Hey, hi. Okay, I got Ivan, I got Rolf, I got Pancho from St. Louis, Missouri. Give me a sec, guys. I cannot see the chat for some reason on my screen. and I need to do a proper with music. So if you guys just want to give me a second here, I just want to make sure that we have the chat going, because it will be a more better, funnier experience for both of us. So if you give me a sec, just gonna reopen my chat window, reopen my stuff. Don't move, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a few. Okay, guys, if you want to write down something in the chat for me, please, so I can see that the chat is moving on my screen. Say hi, please. This is the joy of doing live stuff. Hi, Handy. Check 1, 2, 3. Never, ever, ever, ever goes to 3, Rolf, because after 3 you have to lift something usually, or you have to use some kind of strength. So no, chat is working. I see you guys. Message, so good to have you back. I thought I missed you for a second. I thought you were all gone and not watching the show today. Fun to have you guys with us. Okay, so everybody's a regular so far in the chat. If you are new, if it's your first time here, don't be afraid to say so. If you have any question, please leave them in the chat below. It will be a pleasure for me and us. Everybody here is a big community. I'm learning as much as you guys do. We're exchanging on ID. You guys give me a lot of perspective on mixing. You come up with your own vision of thing. You ask me question about it, I do my best to answer them, and we all growing, we're all learning from that. So don't be afraid. Ask anything in the chat that is sound or console related. I don't want to have to ban you because that's the internet, and there are some rules now on the internet. It's not the world wide web like it used to be when I was a little younger. So yeah, feel free to ask anything about the console. We'll do our best to answer it, and if it can help you figure out some stuff. Okay, something that I wanted to talk about. A couple weeks ago, I checked with Andy, I believe, or is it Patrick Jean-Maillot? One of them. People were asking me about user signal. What was the deal with user signal? And I have an answer finally. I need to do almost a video about that, but I don't know if that will make sense or not. But in the console, in the routing section, wait, Pancho, I got something cooking for that. Okay, hold on. Don't don't let me. You distract me now, Pancho. You're disrupting the show. Hold on. Okay. You guys see the amount of input that we have. You see the amount of output that we have. So we have all these input, all these output. Basically, these are all routing options that we have on the wing. All these input and all these output correspond to a number. That number is astronomically high, something like 270, 296 input or output. Maybe somebody in the chat have the right number, but we have a huge amount of input and huge amount of output on the console. The reason why we're stuck with only 24 user signal input and output, my friend Simon, as usual, is calling me on my stream. You should know, buddy. You should know. My dear friend Simon, he always calls me when I'm doing these live streams. It's fun. He knows. Sorry. The reason we have only 24 user signal is because the console has reached its limit of physical or potential in and out. I don't want to say physical in and out, but processing wise, the physical processor inside the console have a limitation on the amount of line in and out that they can work with. And basically, the 24 user signal were the last thing that they had, or maybe not, but they had to compromise on some input there, on some of the in and outs to limit them to 24, so everything else will be functional, like all the input, all the output. The short answer is the console cannot manage more in or out, basically. So this is why we are stuck to 24 user signal. There is way more signal path going in the console, but the last 24 were allocated to the user signal, and the console is simply full. The DSP, from what I understand, are filled with all the input and output that they can deliver. So the console is, on that point, maxed out. Hear me out. There's a lot of stuff in there. I don't think you will ever feel compromised, other than maybe the user signal. But yeah, basically, this is why. This is the answer. This is why we don't have 48 of those. It's because the console is maxed out in terms of the routing matrix, I should say. Somebody correct me if I'm using this term incorrectly here, but basically, the console is full. Question from Rolf. Hal Schmidt, which is a recording mixer producer. I don't know if he's producing. I think he's just a mixing engineer, actually. Music recording expert. Yes, he is. Use microphone placement rather than EQ. How feasible or how unusable is that in live situation? Really interesting, Rolf. I would say 99% of what I do is mic placement, figuring out how to make the source sound good before applying EQ. Meaning that if you have a really good sounding source and you don't have to correct it, because there's two ways that I use EQ. One is to correct the source. Let's say if I have a acoustic guitar, because I had that yesterday. I had an acoustic guitar feeding back on some frequencies in the low end around somewhere between 120 and 160. It was just sympathetic resonance. It was the sound coming from the monitor, because there was a monitor gig. The sound coming from the monitor hitting the guitar, and the guitar have a more natural predominance to ring at that frequency, so I had to turn that down. This is what I call I want to use the right term here, corrective EQ. It's not to make the guitar sound better. It's not to make it more beautiful in the mix. It's just to fix a physical problem that guitar is, like, bad. So, took that frequency, notch it down, it's good. After that, I tried to EQ the guitar to make it sound good, which is up to interpretation at that point. So before even that, if I can, like on the guitar itself, some guitar have notch filter exactly for those reasons. I will try to work with an acoustic guitar that has a notch filter and ask the person with, this guitar to get to that frequency, turn it down by whatever he have available. If he cannot fix it, I will fix it. After that, I start to apply EQ. I don't want to say to make it beautiful, make it better. I'm lacking on words today. Really tired, like I said. Once I got that down on DI instrument, I make the source sound good. Could be keyboard. Sometimes, they have internal EQ, and I try to make the keyboard sound good. If it comes down to mic placement on drum, on electric guitar, I will work with the player to have his instrument sound good at first. Then I will have the player help me moving the mic around. If it's a guitar amp, if it's drums, if it's whatever acoustic capture that I'm doing of an instrument. And after that, I will apply EQ. Mic placement, of course, depending on the situation, will be my first option. Well, actually, it will be in that order. Make the instrument source sound good, if I can. Sometimes I go out and tune drums myself, because when I'm doing high school show, the kids just don't know how to tune a drum. I have a drum key. I go tune the drum myself. You guys in church probably can do the same thing. Go out, tune your drum. If the drum has been hit too many times and the skin has come loose, you want to tighten that up. Make sure that you have no resonance, no overtone, unwanted overtone, I should say. Fix the source. After that, mic placement on that source, how you capture that source. And after that, corrective EQ. After that, EQ for fun, for amplifying some stuff on the instrument and make it sound good in the mix. Al Schmidt would probably tell you that yes, moving mic around is the best way, and you don't want to use EQ. You want to choose the right preamp for your source, then moving the mic. But for a live situation, that can be true or not. As much as I would like to have a big ribbon microphone. Ribbon cable. Good morning. Ribbon microphone 4 feet away from a kick live, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't apply to the acoustic, or it doesn't apply to the environment that I'm using that microphone in. Drum overhead could be something that I would spend a lot of time, if I have time, on a room that sound good. I will take my tape measurement, make sure that my overheads are the same distance of the snare, make sure that my overhead and snare are in phase with the snare bottom. Sometimes I do the opposite of what everybody's doing. I put my overhead up, I put my snare top, and I listen to it and see if my snare top and overhead are in phase. Sometimes I end up with the overhead being in phase, the snare top be out of phase, and I don't reverse actually the snare bottom phase. So that way I can get all my drums and overhead in phase to each other. And I fix that, and it's gonna help me achieve a better sound at the source. Again, that's part of the mic placement, I should say. Sorry, guys. We're live. Hey, Patrick. Bonjour, la France. Mic placement, source, mic placement, and then EQ. If you apply that, it's a really good way to go. Just be conscious of the environment that you are working in. You cannot put 3 microphones on a guitar cab, one that is 5 feet away, because somebody, first it will be in the way of a live gig. Somebody will trip on it. It's not, thank you, Pancho. It just doesn't make any sense sometime in live application. But yes, the type of microphone, mic placement, the preamp, all that come after the source. Make sure that the player is what the player wants to achieve is happening in his instrument. If we're talking about a guitar amp, drums, sometimes, a drummer will think his drum sounds good behind the kit. And if you go play drums for him and you listen to his kit 10 feet away, you would say, oh, these toms have way too much resonance into them. Or that bass drum is hitting really, really hard in the back because he got the sound from being behind a wall. But at the front, it doesn't sound fat at all. So maybe he can tune his drum kit differently to accommodate the situation. Start with that. Once you got that nailed down, then mic placement, and then you apply, corrective EQ, then enhancement EQ, and then you got a mix. But if you do all these steps in order, it will be so much easier for you to achieve a good result on your mix. It will make your life so easier. You're doing corrective EQ, like a little of correction on the EQ and more enhancement than you try to just fix problem, It's just my approach. A little bit different from Al Schmidt's in the sense of I'm not a recording engineer. I cannot have the luxury of having everything isolated and microphone being far from my source. I would like to have a bass drum mic like that far from the bass drum in front of the hole, but doesn't make any sense in a live situation. Somebody will trip on that mic or ask me, what am I doing? So this is why I end up using plates on bass drum. Just put a plate in there. Prepare to say bless again. Oh, wow. I don't know. This place is not dusty, and I don't know what's going on with me this morning. Oh. Okay. I just realized what this could be. I'm not feeling top shape this morning. I'm not feeling as good as I was yesterday. I had a rough weekend. That was probably hard on my system, and I saw a lot of people. I hope. Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking a lot right now. All that to say that after this live stream, I'll probably go have some kind of test on me just to make sure that my week is going to happen the way I expect my week to happen. We'll see. I don't want to say the C word. But maybe. Who knows? We'll see what's going on. Really interesting question, Rolf. Sorry, Patrick. I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about here. Sorry, I'm just gonna refresh that. Gonna refresh my chat and everything. Okay, good. What else? I don't know. Sorry, guys. I feel really smooth today. I slept way too much and have not drank enough coffee yet. So you guys need to give me something to talk about, or the show will be, well, it will just be a short one. I'm tired. I have the right to call the show off when I want to. And also something that I want to talk about is I had a 2,000 subscriber studio tour video that came out Saturday. My lovely moderator and friend Guillaume Chalifot, who's a light guy that you guys see from time to time here. You may know him from his YouTube nickname Panda Lonely. Panda pointed me out that I have a edit error. I have a outro part clips going in the middle of the video, so that will be corrected and uploaded in a few hours if you guys want to watch the studio tour again, because you guys see that angle, but I show you guys everything else that I got going on here in the studio. Okay, Pancho, we'll talk about this. The DL32 in the Midas Pro Series. I have to go out at a rental company that I'm working with, and hook everything up and try it out. I need to call them. I cannot just show up uninvited. Well, I could, but with camera and everything, it will be a little bit of a pain for them to just have me walking around with a camera, but I can definitely, and I say definitely, do a test. And there's a couple things that I want to do. I want to call them on a day that they are off. Maybe not in the next days, but maybe in the next weeks. And I want to go try first the DL32 with the Pro Series. So meaning if you can have DL32 hook up to a Pro Series, how many channel can you have? Is it only 24? Because it will clock at 96K. Can you also have, if you're using A and B, can you have the 32 input and 16 out? Because that will be a really cheap option if you get a sweet deal on the Pro 2 and you want to run, let's say, DL32 patch, and if you're on a budget. If you find a Pro 1 or a Pro 2 and you're on a budget, can you just buy the DL32? Buy two of them. It's the half price of a DL251. Could that work? You gonna get maybe with four cable, could you run 64 patchable input with 32 output? That would max out the console. That would be a good option. I don't know. I need to figure all that stuff, and also I need to check I want to do some like tests when you're splitting a physical microphone with a DL231 and a DL251. Actually, we have the 231 and the DL30. No, sorry, wrong number here. DL32 and a 231, because this is what I will have available for me at the rental company. But I want to try that with a Pro 1, see if there's any difference. If you hear, that will be a single microphone test only, but I definitely want to check that out. Explanation. Sorry. What's going on, Patrick? Explanation. Octave Bleva is my ex-boss from OVH. He decided to buy gear, tons of gear, and has to manage grid from scratch in less than 6 full recording studio. Okay, nice, really nice. Last time he bought snare and drums for one of the studio, he bought 30 different models just to offer choice to musicians. Yes, this is the reality of owning a studio. This plan is to offer free recording session to new improvising band to help them. Oh, great! This is really cool. Can you send me a link, or can you send? Where can I send people to if they want to check that out? Patrick, let me know. I have no idea who your boss is from OVH. I never, sorry. I live in America. Not my fault. Never been to your side of the pond, and don't know a lot of companies from Europe. You guys are mostly from Europe that are watching my live stream. So your local stuff like their Toman and stuff like that. Here in Canada, we don't have as many options. We have American stuff like, Sweetwater, big companies or distributors, but it's a different game. The fact that we're that far away, we don't have all the same companies, and we don't know all the same people. But nothing stopped us from being a one big family of sound engineer and wing user from all over the world. Okay. Yeah, basically, back to the DL32. Back to the DL32. I will have a video coming on that at some point. I want to check that out. It was not supposed to happen. Somebody did a mistake and plugged a DL32 into a generic input of a Pro 2. And apparently it worked. But I want to see it from my eyes. I want to see how much it worked, and if you can get the 32 channel or just 24 or all that. But I will definitely get a video and talk about that, because this is the kind of stuff that interests me a lot. Like if something is not supposed or not marketed to be working together, but you can make it work together, I like that. give you option, basically. So OVH is a web service provider, number one in Europe, but very small compared to Amazon. Okay. Yeah, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. The big ones. The big boys. Owner of the world, or pretty much. Let's try to do an hour today, at least. We got 20 minutes. If you guys want to talk about anything, let's. I'm gonna call this this video like something casual. If you guys want to talk about anything that can be interesting here with me, if you, I wish so bad I could have people join me on message, but I would need somebody else to help me with that. I would need to have a second pair of hands in the studio. So far, I'm doing everything by myself. I'm doing everything from the console, and having to manage incoming call, that would be such a nightmare. But at some point, I would like to have you guys interacting with the show. I mean, visually interacting with the show. That would be so cool. Keeping that for the future. Okay. Well, do we have anything going in the chat, guys? Please let me know. If you guys got something, it's okay. If not, well, it's okay to have a shorter live today. I don't want to bore people to death, and I don't feel like we covered much today other than Rolf's question, which was really, really good. Oh, Jonathan. Well, maybe Jonathan just saved the show, guys. Say hi to Jonathan. And Jonathan, first, let me ask you, where is your show file? I can probably take some time off today and look at your show file. We can look at this together, or do something, because I'm running out of a subject here. It's really hard, guys. You know, it's really hard to just throwing a show like that. No safety net, no nothing. Just got a camera in front of me, people watching, working on it. What do you mean working on it? I made some crazy change that sound trash. Well, I think you should, get your stuff where you think you want them to be. Send me your file over. We'll take a look at it. But, okay, don't overthink stuff. This is what I'm telling to a lot of people and a lot of musicians that I'm working with. I don't try to overthink or I try not to overthink too much stuff. In the sense of everybody try to micromanage everything so much when doing sound. It's part of dealing with the beast. But sometimes I just let the players, the musician, breathe, I should say, with their mix. I just let them be, not compressing too much, not EQing too much. I just let it, Fun fact. I was talking with a musician, and we were talking about his acoustic guitar. Because everybody on stage is in-ear, and I'm there doing only in-ear monitor for the band. The only thing that I have going on his guitar is guitar coming out of a DI into a microphone preamp. I put a low cut at 87 hertz. And that's it. No EQ. No compression. No gate. Or maybe I believe I have a small expander, so when he's not playing, I cut down on the noise from the line. Because he's not playing all the time. He's switching between his acoustic and electric guitar. I think I have expander on that, but that's it. I don't get in the way of the musician. I let the musician hear his purest possible tone. And so far, the band told me that they were never that happy in their ear. Just because I let everybody pretty much flat and mixing each other, in the sense of I let the guitar player move his pick around so he find the right spot of mid-range, because moving where do you play on a guitar will change the mid-range of the instrument. I let him play with the mid-range, and he find the sweet spot where it sounds good in his ear, and all that together, because I don't interfere with the band, I'm as transparent as possible. The band's hearing himself better on stage, and the mix at front of house is apparently easier to do because he doesn't have to fight everybody. I just let everybody give me the tone that they want, and I send that back like a mirror. I send it back to them as a mirror, and they have a good time in their ear because it's the tone that they work for to get in their ears, and I just let the band blend itself. It's so easier to do this way. You guys have no idea. Okay. It's always like that. When I say that I want to stop the stream, you guys like give me some stuff in the chat. Okay. Okay. What are you guys talking about? So I thought I've been clever with my broadcast mix and it sounded horrible. Oh, Jonathan. Okay. Send that over. We'll take a look at this. I want to understand your idea. Why do you think what you tried to achieve versus what the result were, and we'll make it. We'll figure it out. Thank you very much, Patrick. It's a really hard gig that it's a really hard situation that I put myself into for your entertainment pleasure, guys. Pancho, have you used the 4 mic channels with one shielded Cat 5 cable yet? Yes. We're talking about using analog splitter box to do sound over a Cat 5, 4 mic cable over a Cat 5. I'm doing that a lot. I just did that this weekend on Saturday. I had the room that I'm working into, that I'm a technical director at. We have patch panel everywhere. But nothing is analog. Everything was think for the future, so I have shielded Cat 6 going everywhere in the place, and I have that on analog patch, meaning not going through switch, not going through digital management of any kind. So I bought myself some Cat 5 one to male XLR, one to female XLR, and I can plug something in the wall anywhere with a cable, click one place, use my patch to send that cable somewhere else, and I have analog input and output if needed anywhere in the venue. I'm using that all the time. I've been using that for a long time with a band. My project that was called Les Brothers. We had that all over the stage just to run, stuff to musicians. Sometimes, are you better to run a single line of Cat 5 or 4 mic cable? The answer is a single line of Cat 5. So we add that in our patch with color code, green tape box with green cable to green tape box at the other end. But we only had 4 or 5 cables to run, and we had everything plugged under Cat 5, and everybody has, the small little box at his feet, and just plug it right there, and the whole band was wired that way. So Cat 5, Cat 5e, Cat 6 analog is a really cheap and good option to get a clean stage. Well, not that cheap, but it's a good option to get a really clean stage if you ever need it. Ivan just had a busy weekend. All started at Tuesday 7 a.m. and return home yesterday at 7 p.m. Yeah, maybe sleep 8 hours and 40. Yeah, 1 concert, 2 weddings. Oh, and a one day, all in one day. Oh man, yeah, weddings are rough. If you guys ever done professional work into a wedding, it's a really weird situation to be into, in the sense of you are there to make the party happen, but you are there to work. Everybody else is trying to drink their life away while you try to usually work, mixing a band, taking care of the DJ, lights, stuff like that. It's a really weird environment to be in all the time, because the thing is with musician, when you are dealing with musicians, they get used to the beat of being on an event, sound checks, stay in the dressing room, do the show, load out. But people that are doing wedding, it's usually once in a lifetime, maybe twice. And they're not used to the whole entertainment event world that I live into every day. So sometimes things that are obvious to you are just like total nonsense to them. And I get it. But yeah, dealing with wedding is something that I try to do a little less of. It's sometimes problematic in the sense of they just don't know what they need to do or how they want it. And you have to deal with the clients. And they are stressed out because it's their wedding day, or the event planner is a pain. It happened to me before. So try to avoid wedding. Okay. First question from Jonathan. The panning width of... Whoa, hold on. The panning width of it's fully wide, doesn't that move the sound further back or just make it wider? I have two key players and I wanted second key to sit further back in the mix. We're talking about, hold on. Are we talking about the width here when it goes over 150? I don't know what's going to happen with that. Seriously. I think it's playing around. It's reversing phase at some point, but I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what it does. I know when it goes to red, it's because you are inverted. So that become left and that become right, and you can swap it around. You just invert the channel, but after 150, I don't know if it flipped the phase. It's playing around, with the phase at 90 degrees or not. I would not know. I'm sorry. But yeah, because I'm using it now on a mono source, the spectrometer is always mono. I would need a solo source to that. I need to investigate into that a little bit because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't have the answer to all the questions. I just do my best. Yeah, on the wedding, first in, last one out. This is what I did for the bar mitzvah on Saturday. Came in at 8 in the morning. 8:30, I was dealing with suppliers for the sound system, the local crew, the loading dock. And after that, around 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, the same day, 3 in the morning, come in at 8, do the whole day, lunch, everything. 3 in the morning, the crew was back. Actually, the crew was back at 1. They finished the load out around 2:33, and I had to deal with the table and bar rental until 4 in the morning. Actually, 3:45, and I left at 4 in the morning because it was enough, and I had a gig the day after. So, being 35, doing stupid, crazy shift like that, and having a show the day after. Let's say I just need to avoid doing this anymore. It's not good for my personal health, And as much as I made good money that day, I'll be honest, I'm paying the price for it now because we're like a day after, and today will be a slow day for me because I'm not, feeling in that good of a shape. Just being tired of working a 20-hour shift, sleeping 3.5 hour, and go out for another gig. Okay. Guys, that will be a short one today. I will call it a day. I know it's a short show, but again, my head is all over the place. I'm tired and everything, and I don't think I will give you guys that much of a good show anyway if I stick around. So, it would be like a 40-minute show or something. Yeah, I'm gonna get some rest. Thank you very much. Jonathan, send me your file. I want to check that before I'm doing my other show this week because I'm, again, all over the place this week. I'm starting out Wednesday with a corporate event. I'm going on Thursday to do a country band. Friday, I'll go do monitor for a legend here in Quebec, Mr. Michel Pagliaro, or known as Pag. I was asked to do monitor for him on Friday, and Saturday I'm helping with my friend from the band Hook that you guys seen on the vlog here before. We're going out into a small bar, you know, the kind of gig that I should not do for anybody else other than my friend, but small bar, 5 professional musicians on stage and me. We're gonna try to make the roof lifting out of this bar. It's fun for me to do rock band, and I will never miss that opportunity for anything in the world. After that, I have a couple days off. Or no, I think I got something on Sunday too. No stopping in rock and roll. Guys, please, take care of yourself. I'm gonna go take care of myself. Till the next one, until next Monday, stay safe. I'm gonna go test myself if I have the freaking C-vid or not. But anyhow, sick or not, I will see you guys on Monday. Take care.